Success starts in the mind. I'm sure you've heard this everywhere. At this point, it's a pretty popular sentiment, but I think that's because it's true, right? You're never gonna become successful unless you truly believe, to some extent, that you're already the type of person that can be successful. And that all comes down to mindset, right? But like on a more real note, it starts with the mindset, but it's lived out through your actions. Like your day-to-day life, moment by moment, second by second. So it's one thing to just constantly like think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm successful. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be this, I'll be that. That doesn't really mean anything unless you actually put the work behind it, right? In the Bible it says faith without works is dead. And I've come to, at least in this instance, define faith and works as two different things, right? So faith is similar to mindset, right? And then works is similar to discipline. So once again, faith without works is dead. To paraphrase, mindset without discipline doesn't get you anywhere. So back to my point, you can look yourself in the mirror and say all you want, yes, I'm gonna be rich, yes, I'm gonna be successful. But until you are at a point in your life where you are actually taking steps toward that goal and having a concrete plan, nothing's gonna change. So the past couple weeks, I've been trying to make this online sales thing work. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see results until I actually started living my life as if I had already accomplished what I want to accomplish. And how that looks is, when I wake up in the morning, what would I do? If I was already, making $10,000 a month, what would I do? How would I act? How would I behave? How would I think? And then I just do that. And that, honestly, was kind of a game changer. Because, on one hand, you could be like, I think most people, kind of how most people live in this world, where they're just living in the now and they're not focused on, it's good to live in the now, but they're not focused on the end result of where they want to be. Or they're focused on it too much in a way where it's like, I'm not there yet. I really wish I was there. I really wish I was making 10K. I really wish I had this car. I really wish I was, living in a better place. Yes, it's okay to have things that you're striving towards and you're working towards and, have goals. But, there's a difference between having a goal and having a plan. And having a plan is much, much better than having a goal. Because with a plan, you can actually get somewhere. You can actually achieve what you want to achieve because you have a step-by-step basis on how you're going to get there, versus just having this nebulous idea in your head, oh yeah, I want to get there eventually, but to be honest, I don't know how I'm going to do it. It makes you feel good because you're like, yeah, eventually I'll get there, but you're not going to get there unless you actually have a concrete plan. And to be honest, that's kind of the hard part, right? Figuring out how to get from here to here, how to get from A to Z. Not saying it's impossible, because it's definitely not, but that's not how most people's brains are wired, to be honest. We're kind of wired to just look at what's around us currently, and that's it. So when I say success starts in the mind, it's because it does, right? Success starts in the mind, but also it becomes alive from action, from actually doing shit, from telling yourself that, yes, I'm going to do this no matter what, and it's going to work out for me. You have to keep that type of mindset at all times, or else you're going to make a little bit of progress and then fall back off, make a little bit of progress and fall back off. Me, myself, I was personally a victim to that. okay, not a victim, that's not the right word, but it's like I had fallen into that trap for a long time, for many, okay, I'm not that old, for multiple years, you know, like 4 or 5 years of my life, I was kind of just stuck in the same position. You know, I work at a server job that I hated, not getting anywhere in life, watching my bank account slowly drain month by month. And eventually I was like, you know, I can't let this happen. I'm not this person, right? I don't want to be this person who's going to be 30 years old, you know, just with nothing going for him. So eventually, like, I mean, it took a second for me to get to the mindset that I have now, but eventually I switched where I'm like, you know, that's not me, right? No matter what the circumstance looked like right now around me, like, I know that this isn't permanent. I know that I'm, you know, made for greater things, and I'm built for more. And until I was able to accept that, like, deep down in myself, and actually believe that, nothing was changing. And to be honest, for a minute, bro, it's almost like you have to fake it. Like, you have to kind of act as if, you know, you are that person that you want to be before it becomes a reality. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, I'd say that's what you should do. Like, don't fake it forever, obviously, but fake it until you actually start seeing results. And then at that point, are you even faking anymore? No, you're just being. You're just that guy. You're that nigga, you know? Simple as that. So, I don't know. I've been living my life as if I am a very successful type of guy who knows how to sell, drives a nice car, lives in a nice house, has bad bitches around him at all times. Like, you know, just you gotta LARP a little bit. You gotta LARP a little bit before it actually becomes reality. And the LARP starts in the mind. And everything's a LARP until it's not. Right? You just have to start at 100% LARP and slowly make your way down until you're not LARPing at all, 0%. But it all starts with a mindset. So, moral of the story, my advice to you is pick a goal, figure out where you want to be in life, and then most importantly, the type of person that you have to be to get there. And then once you do that, just be that person 24/7, like, as much as possible. Like, at first it's not going to be easy to stay in that mindset, to be that person, like, constantly and consistently. But the more you fake it, the more you actually start to literally become that person and literally get the results that type of person would get. Success starts in the mind.